All right. Hi, everybody. Thank y'all for coming to our summer series about getting ready for success. And we wanted to share some practical skills to get yourself ready for college or even a career change. And today we're going to focus on making your resume and cover letter tell your best career stories. I know there's a lot of folks out there, especially during these current times, who are looking to have a little bit more flexibility in where their career is going, maybe changing into a different career as a whole, and hopefully sometimes advancing within your current career. So hopefully today we will give you some helpful hints to be able to do that successfully. So I'll go on to the introductions. So my name is Vanessa Rodriguez, and I am the Assistant Dean for Student Support and Success at Tulane School of Professional Advancement. I'll let Cynthia introduce herself, please.
Thank you, Vanessa. I am Cynthia Washington, and I'm a Senior Career Advisor in the Tulane School of Professional Advancement.
So before we kind of delve a little bit more deeply into this, we're going to kind of do it a little bit interview style because Cynthia is really the expert in this area. And so we thought it would be helpful for us to share a little bit about our own career journeys and because we have both had many of them in our professional lives. To this in that finding the thread of your career trajectory is really the most important part in getting that new position and telling that story in your cover. I'll start out as a
Vanessa, your video is going out.
Decided, you know what, I love the theater. I looked into what are the areas of theater in which I could utilize their transformative aspects. So then I applied to a graduate school in drama therapy at New York University, and I practiced as a drama therapist in New York and New Orleans, which is a form of psychotherapy. After doing that for many years, then I realized, you know, I was really frustrated with the limits that our current socio-political society was putting on a lot of people who are my clients, because I worked with a lot of marginalized populations. So then I thought, you know, what kind of training can I get to be able to really affect the most change on policies that will have the most effect on the people that I would really like to serve. So I looked around, I looked at a variety of different programs, and I decided that law school was for me. So when I applied to Tulane University, I described how my experiences as a psychotherapist and a theater artist really kind of convinced me to seek this greater knowledge. Had there and then from law, I actually went into higher ed with direct.
So I'm gonna go over now because this video. If Vanessa, you turn off your video. Okay, so hi, I'm Cynthia Washington. I'm gonna introduce myself because Vanessa's video was acting up and we couldn't really hear her. So I'm actually gonna turn off my video as well, just in case I have the same problem. So my career journey is a little bit different. I am a career transitioner. So I went to college, I went to Western Michigan University, and when I finished school, I became a flight attendant. I didn't know what I wanted to do, which is what happens to a lot of young 21-year-olds. So a friend of mine was working for Northwest Airlines and said, hey, why don't you apply? They're hiring flight attendants. So I did, I got the job, and I said, well, I'll do this for a year or two. And then by then I'll figure out what it is that I want to do. Well, I ended up being a flight attendant for 15 years, believe it or not. It was just a really fun, great career, traveling around the world, staying 2, 3, 4 days in different countries. I even lived in Paris for a month. And so, but as with always, and this is something that I always tell my students about, chaos and chance and unexpectability and all these things will happen throughout your life. So what happened in my life? Well, 9/11 happened. And yes, I was a flight attendant during 9/11. I still remember to this day. My birthday is September 10th. And so the only reason why I wasn't flying that day is because it was the day after my birthday, and I usually take the week off during my birthday. So, you know, the only reason why I wasn't out there flying around is because it was for that reason. And I even still remember when it happened, I was watching TV and I saw it happen in real time. And then weeks later, you know, I had friends who were stuck in other countries for weeks. So then after that, the industry completely changed, obviously, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. So I ended up going back to school and I got an MBA. And because I was a little older at that time, I didn't want to start all over again in corporate America, like starting at the bottom, because I really didn't have a whole lot of experience. And back then, you know, I wasn't thinking about, or we weren't really taught about those transferable skills. So again, another friend of mine was working at a university. And so I decided, well, let me just do that. You know, I say, well, let me try to get a job in the university. And so I started working at University of Michigan in career services. And so now I've been in career services for the past 10 years, but I am a career transitioner. I consider this my encore career. I've been doing it for 10 years. I've worked at, like I said, University of Michigan, Vanderbilt University, and now Tulane University. And so I'm like a really great example, especially for the population of students that we have, that you can transition from one career to another career, but it definitely all starts with getting another degree. So.
Well, thank you, Cynthia. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm sorry for the internet connection issues. I'm sure we've all experienced that. So we're going to go directly into your resume and cover letter. So Cynthia, will you talk to us about just the highlights of really what are the basic things that a resume and cover letter should share with your future employers or future schools?
Okay, well, first of all, how you compose your resume can make all the difference in getting a job interview. I tell people all the time, your resume gets you the interview. The interview gets you the job, but the resume is what actually gets you the interview. So within the industry, a lot of people refer to the 6-second rule, meaning that recruiters spend less than 10 seconds. We call it a 6-second rule, but it could be anywhere from 6 to 10 seconds. In that amount of time, that is all they take to review a resume. So you want to immediately capture their attention by making it aesthetically pleasing and well formatted, obviously. So find a professional looking design. Less is better. Unless you are in the creative industry, then of course you want to have a more creative type of resume, or pick a more creative type of design. Second thing is many employers use a tracking system, an applicant tracking system. So you want to customize your resume using keywords and phrases and structuring your resume to fit the job description. No more do we want to have one resume to use to apply to every job. You want to actually tailor your resume to the job description.
I can't tell you how important that is. Literally plucking the words that are in the job description and finding spots towards the top of your resume where you can include that in your experience. It means the world.
It actually does. You want to use words, keywords, and phrases from the job description and put them throughout your resume. You're not copying the same thing. You're picking keywords and phrases so the applicant tracking system will pick up your resume, okay? And next, another really great point is that what we call show, don't tell. What that means is when you're describing your work experience, be sure to begin each bullet point with an action verb and you can Google best action verbs for a resume, you want to make the connection for the employer by conveying how your experience matches their need. A resume is not a list of jobs, responsibilities, and duties. You don't want your resume to look like a job description. You want to show them, not just tell them, how you have made a difference at your previous companies. So again, show, don't tell. What that means is show them, don't just tell them. Don't just say, I have great customer service experience, or list a bunch of skills on your resume. You want to describe to them, and on the next slide, there will be a few examples, but you want to describe to them your experience, not just show them, okay? And also there are things that you want to leave off. Number one, lengthy work history. Well, I mentioned before that I was a flight attendant for 15 years. Well, I no longer have that on my resume because that was 15 years ago, and it's really not relevant to what I'm doing now. But I do have my past 10-year experience working in higher education. Your resume should go back a maximum, 15 years in terms of work experience. This keeps your resume highly relevant to employers. And in many industries, experience that dates back more than 15 years, just like in my case, it just isn't really helpful for a hiring manager. Okay, so also irrelevant work experience. You don't need to list every single job that you've ever had on your resume. Okay, you want to list relevant work experience. A resume is not a job application. Yes, when you fill out a job application, they expect you to include every single year and every single thing that you've done. But a resume is not like that. And one final thing about a resume that you should leave off are baseline expectations, meaning a list of skills. Don't just list your skills, customer service skills, teamwork, all those sorts of things. Those are baseline expectations. People expect you to have teamwork skills, and people expect you to have good communication skills, and people expect you to have great customer service skills. Don't list those things. What you want to do is describe it throughout your resume. And also, one final thing, references available upon request. Please take that off your resume. An employer knows that if they want your references, they will ask you for them. Okay? Is there anything else about a resume that
I think that's great. Can we go into cover letters?
Oh, right.
That's really where the story comes together for me.
Absolutely. So some people say a cover letter isn't necessary, but only don't include it if the company says do not include a cover letter. You should always have one. I recommend sending a cover letter. Give the hiring manager the option whether they want to read it or not. Okay? So like on here it says, I love you, you love me, let's get together. That's just a simple way to remember how to compose your paragraphs. So the first paragraph of your cover letter should state who you are, why you're writing, how you learned about the position, and a connection through networking if you have one. Always write your connection in that first paragraph if you have one. And then something interesting that you know about the company that you're showing them, this is why I want to work for you. Okay, and we'll go through that in a cover letter sample coming up shortly. So that first paragraph, it's all about them. The second paragraph, it's all about you. So you should convey how your qualifications and your skills make you a great fit for the position. Look through the job description and find skills that you possess, duties that you've had in previous positions where you can describe for the hiring manager how you took action and what the outcome was. Potential employers, they want to know specifically what you can do for them. Again, the second paragraph, it's all about you. You're showing them, you're selling yourself, you're marketing yourself, you're showing them why you would be a great fit for the position, specifically using experience from your previous jobs that matches what they're looking for. If it doesn't match what they're looking for, what's the point of putting it on there, okay? And then your final paragraph, you should close with a call to action. For example, I'm available to meet with you at your earliest convenience, or I look forward to providing more information about my background during the interview process. Okay? So you want to just write 3 to 4 concise, well-written paragraphs conveying how you can solve their problem.
All right. So now kind of to get to the meat of the matter of these career transitioners like we were, tell us about how to best communicate these transferable skills, because I know that's going to be key. If you're going, when I went from law to higher education, it was really, really important that I make clear why my experience in these different fields was really, really relevant in the job that I was hoping to get. Can you go into that a little bit more?
Absolutely. So transferable skills, those are those soft skills that you develop from working in one industry or in a variety of jobs, which can be used in another industry. We often underestimate how valuable these are to our careers. So they are like a core set of skills and abilities, and they can be applied to a wide range of industries. For example, you've had a
Can we go to the next slide? I think maybe those come up in the next slide. There you go.
no.
Nope, not yet. Okay, never mind. Go back.
So, so you've had a career, say for example, in retail management, and you're looking to move into corporate operations or IT or something like that. Well, you have lots of transferable skills such as staff management, budgeting and planning, inventory control, and customer service. So use these to your advantage when you're looking for a job. The competencies and the soft skills that you gain from working in retail and in every hospitality job, restaurant, they're all transferable. The desired skills that employers look for, such as customer service, communication, teamwork, flexibility, multitasking, communication skills, those are the skills that you have gained throughout your work experience in hospitality. Now we can move to the next slide. For example,
Great, thank you.
these are examples of excellent customer service. So you want to use these types of phrases throughout your resume, beginning with an action verb. Efficiently greet and check in guests. So that's showing your customer service in 150 plus hotel rooms with point of sale. So you're showing them that this is the type of system that you use. And it led to minimize wait time by 20%. And you're showing them an outcome that you achieved from this work. The next one, receive a monetary customer service award for leading a team. So you're showing them that you had excellent customer service and you actually received an award for it. And also that you led a team. So you're showing them that you have great teamwork skills, okay? Because you led a team. And that developed a new return policy that resulted in 35% fewer customer complaints. So again, you're showing them, stating the situation, the task, the action you took, and the result. We call that STAR, S-T-A-R. You can Google that too. All right, STAR format for a resume, S-T-A-R. And then the final one, stayed updated. Now this is, if you're working in a restaurant, you can creatively describe your experience here. Stayed updated on menu changes to offer current and accurate information. Answer questions and help customers select optimal meal choices based on individual preferences. Once again, that's showing excellent customer service.
Great, thank you. All right, so we're going to go into a few examples now, because sometimes it's easier to kind of see what you're talking about in real life circumstances. Can you talk through some of those for us?
All right, so as I said before, tailor your resume to fit the job description. But the first thing you want to do is tailor your resume's profile summary and your bullet points to fit the industry and the job description. So here's an example of a tailored resume. So this is an example of a tailored resume for someone who has worked in the hospitality industry, and they just received their degree from Tulane in public relations. So they want to transfer from hospitality to public relations. So the first thing that you want to do is at the top where it says profile summary, you want to add things that you've done within your work in hospitality that would be transferable to public relations. So it says engaging, customer facing, professional with exceptional. I highlighted the words that fit in public relations or career in communication. So exceptional communication and interpersonal skills, solid writing and presentation skills. Those are two key skills needed in public relations. And also, this person included bachelor's degree in public relations. The reason why is, and yes, it is under education, but if someone is just focusing on your profile summary, they will automatically see that you have a degree in public relations. Also, because the person doesn't actually have experience in public relations, but they're showing that, well, yeah, but I just got my degree, so that's fantastic. All right, effective in assessing and resolving crises. Well, yes, that's really important to public relations as well. If you work in hospitality, you definitely have to resolve crises when they occur. And customer dissatisfaction. All right, so proven ability to work under pressure. Yes, if you work in hospitality, you work under pressure a lot, and that is a key skill in public relations. And also strong time management skills in high demand settings. So again, your profile summary, you should always have a profile summary if you have a career history, specifically if you're transitioning to a different industry, so they can see everything that you've done, quick, all of your skills and abilities right in that first paragraph. So hotel public relations representatives are really executive assistants and top management. They are constantly called upon to represent and speak for the hotel or whatever business it is. So this person has worked in hospitality specifically for the last 2 years. So it would make the most sense for them to try to transition into a career using their public relations degree, whether it's in PR or communications, within the hospitality industry, right? So all industries have PR, but since she has all of this experience in hospitality and customer service experience within the hospitality industry, it makes the most sense to start looking for a job related to the industry that she's been working in for the past 5 or so years.
That's great. Thanks. Can we skip a little bit to the technology skills? I see how you highlighted social media platforms. Tell us about that before we go on to the next example.
Yes, absolutely. So technology is really important in all industries, and specifically if you're interested in working in PR, well, your first job may not specifically be a PR assistant. It could be in communications. And we all know that social media platforms are really, really important if you want to work in that industry. So even if you don't specifically have professional experience on social media platforms, if you use those platforms on a regular basis, you should list that on there, because that shows to the employer, well, we don't have to train them in how to do this. They already know how to do it from their personal experience.
That's great. Thanks. All right. You have another example. Is that right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Say it again.
Oh, hey, do you have another example coming up? Is that right?
The cover letter.
There it is.
All right. So again, I love you. You love me. Let's get together. So the first paragraph, you write like you're excited, you're enthusiastic. People want to see enthusiasm. So the first thing you say, I'm excited, or I was enthusiastic to learn about this particular opening. And again, this person specifically states, not only because I'm interested in joining the Hilton team, so they're building up the company because it's all about them, but because I admire and respect the Hilton brand. All right, so this first paragraph is all about them. And then it goes on to say how they're impressed with the company, their experience. And then she talks about, which is also really important, She specifically mentions my experience working in the hospitality industry for the last 5 years has given me insight into the importance of both brand loyalty and customer acquisition. So that first paragraph is talking about them, but also highlighting what she can do for them because she already has experience in the hospitality industry. So it's showing to the reader that she understands that industry. The next paragraph, so now within the next paragraph, she's promoting herself. So she's saying that she has solid interpersonal skills, the ability to interface with individuals at all levels, because when you work in hospitality, you need to have that skill set. You have that skill set, so you want to highlight that. This person also talks about how she really enjoys working in hospitality, and she's showing that she's energetic and she's a professional. But she also wants to transition into a position within that industry, but utilizing her degree and also to make an impact in a different way. And then the final paragraph, this is the close to action. She's talking about how she comes from a creative background, which is really helpful. And again, she's stating that she completed her Bachelor of Arts in Public Relations at Tulane. So that's really great because you never know, the person reading this could be a Tulane alum as well. And of course, we all know that that stands out. So, and then she's just pretty much saying she's confident, about the knowledge that she's gained in the PR industry, specifically say that because she doesn't actually have experience, but she has gained a lot of knowledge from it because of her degree, all right? So then she also talked a little bit about being a social media blogger, which is important as well. So that's a great call to action.
That's great. Thank you so much. So yeah, this is a lot to think about, and I know this is just one example of a career transition. I know we have just a couple of minutes now. We'll go forward. You were talking about, transition from hospitality to PR, which we kind of spoke about. You talked about how connections are really important, using your transferable skills, marketing yourself. What else should we know before we wrap this up?
Yeah, so for example, if you're interested in transitioning from hospitality to public relations, we kind of talked about that a little bit. So can we just go to the next slide really quickly? So if you want to transition from hospitality to, for example, health and wellness, well, restaurant owners and operators, they employ—
The next slide.
I'm sorry? Oh, can you hear me now? I'm sorry, my.
Yeah, we can hear you. Now we can hear you.
Yeah, the sound went out. Sorry about that. So restaurant owners and operators, they employ health and wellness pursuits to combat the rigors of the job. So for example, if you've been working in the restaurant industry for a really long time, or the hospitality industry, and you just recently got your degree in health and wellness, well, you can move up within the company because restaurant owners, as well as hotel chains, they have these health and wellness programs within their organization. So you have the experience of that industry, now you have the degree. It's so much easier to try to transition to a new career or a new job within the industry you're already in, or within the company that you're already in. Use those transferable skills. Talk to people within your company. Talk to people within the industry. Market yourself. Talk to current, previous, and other employers within that industry, the hospitality industry, to try to get a job in health and wellness. It's a little bit easier to transition that way than to transition to trying to get a job in health and wellness. That has nothing to do with the industry where you have all of your experience.
No, that's great advice. Thank you so much. So I know our time is up, and we just wanted to give you some contact information. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. These are some of the ways that you can reach out. There's asksopa at tulane.edu if you have specific questions. Our website has lots of information. And if you're a Tulane SoPA student, you can also feel free to reach out directly to Cynthia to make an appointment with her to get her very helpful career advice. We appreciate all of you coming, and we hope to see you at the next summer series. Take care, everybody.
Thank you
Bye.